With Bubba Doot Doot and Cookie Doot Doot.
This is the show, and I hate when the more it sounds like an interview, the more I hate it. Like, it just sounds so much phonier, like Dave and Chuck the Freak, like that kind of stuff. Wacky sound effect. Dave, Chuck, Freaks.
It's Bitches Monday.
And then the callers call in. Hey guys, penis. Like it's.
Oh, can you guys eventually do call-ins on here?
But we just call, me and Kyle just call each other. We're just calling the guest like who's right in front of our face. Hey, why are you calling me? I'm doing an interview right now. I'm doing a podcast.
Can you order pizza as well?
On-air pizza and then see if we can finish the podcast before it gets there. I don't know. It seems like because it's the first episode, we should just say so they know who's talking. I'm Bret.
I'm Kyle.
And our guest today is Sam Rager. Hi, Sam.
Sam, introduce yourself. Who are you again? Who's our guest today? Can you introduce yourself?
I am Sam Rager. Thank you guys for having me.
You are so welcome. We do not know what we're doing.
We'd actually like to thank you for being here, for supporting this train wreck of whatever's going to happen.
I think bonding and memories.
I mean, I support the train wreck factor of this. I don't want it to be too polished. That's not fun.
I mean, being polished is not fun. I mean, have you seen me on stage?
By the way, we should mention Kyle is his own biggest fan. Kyle will literally tell jokes on stage and laugh at himself on stage because he likes what he's saying so much.
I do it too much.
No, I support that. I support that 100%.
Laughing at myself on stage?
Mm-hmm.
You do that sometimes. You'll say a joke and you'll even crack yourself up. I gotta be honest, I've started doing that and I think it helps the jokes a little bit. I think it's because they see you're having fun and they can kind of sense it. And what were you gonna say?
That's all you, babe.
That's all me. That's basically all I wanted to say. People can sense you're having fun, so they start to have more fun.
I think it also helps slightly when you say darker stuff, too. Like, when you say stuff that's slightly darker. Which, I'm not even trying to use that as, But me and Sam both sort of do that. We both sort of say shit that if we weren't smiling, people wouldn't be on board with it.
Oh my gosh, I would probably get so many racist hotline numbers slipped to me after the show.
Yeah, it lessens the blow when you're 9/11, ha, as opposed to just 9/11.
I've tried telling my genocider bit, without smiling or laughing at it, and people are just oh no! They are so not on board if I ever do that bit. They hate it. But if I smile at it, it's a whole different scenario. I don't know.
Whenever I talk about killing myself on stage, if I am smiling while I'm doing it, they're like, at least she'll die happy.
I think that's something I want to get, because we know your style. You've always been a darker comedian, since we've met you. Have you always been that way, since you've started?
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. Mm-hmm. Who are your guys? Who are your favorites? Who did you watch that made you want to actually start doing comedy?
It was a mix between Dan Cummins and Richard Pryor.
Dan Cummins.
I love Dan Cummins. I was just talking to Brett about him the other day. I talk about him all the time. Just his bit about whenever people are on the news talking about somebody who was a murderer, they're yeah, I never expected it. Or I never saw it coming. He's yeah, I'd like to think if you saw it coming, you would have said the body count would have been significantly lower. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Phone.
We have a caller.
Phone. We got our first caller, everybody. Yes.
Can you put it on speaker just so we can say, caller, you're on the air?
Who is it?
Oh man,
Who what?
It was Carl.
Call him. Let's call him.
Do you want to put Carl?
Let's call Carl. Get close to the microphone so we can make sure we hear.
Don't get too close, because then it'll be too loud.
Alright,
Oh, Carl Johnson,
There's
everybody.
another comic here in Michigan.
He helps run DCU, or more commonly known as Detroit Comedy Underground.
Really fun room. Definitely check it out every Sunday at 8 p.m. at the Park Bar for $5. Caller, you're on the line.
Hello.
Hey, it's me, Brett Hayden, and Kyle Forsyth. And
Hi.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, we got you on a podcast too, so.
we're recording a podcast right now, and you're the first call-in.
Carl, it was the worst podcast before you called. Don't sweat it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. There's no structure to this. This is good. I feel bad.
Yeah. Tell us a bit. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starting off with a bang, CJ style.
Nice. What's the pod called?
That podcast with Bret and Kyle.
What's it again?
That podcast with Bret and Kyle.
Oh, cool. That's the original name. It's good. Wow. So, alright, well, I'm not gonna hear it. It's your guys' podcast, so if anything, I'm calling, you're supposed to ask me questions. Anything. I want to take up Sam's time. It's all about Sam right now. So,
If this is an emergency, Sam can step out, and then me and Kyle can do our sponsors.
just give me a call back, Sam, when you're done with the pod. Cool?
Yep.
See you guys later.
Bye, Carl.
Bye. I wouldn't have
All right.
it any other way.
I don't even know how much of that conversation everybody could hear. Honestly.
I don't know. That's what's
I
gonna
was
make it
watching-
fun. Because then they just hear like muffled, like it's almost like the dude from like the Muppets, like the, and then they just hear us.
That may get completely cut out. Like, I'm not positive. We'll find out though, depending on what it sounds like. Either that's gonna be real fun or real bad. So it's...
Oh man. What were we talking about? Oh, Dan Cummins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where did you first see Dan? Was it like Comedy Central Presents or?
Yep.
What was it?
It was like his 30-minute special.
Okay.
Yeah, I name all my jokes.
Like the one where he was like talking about like if he had a blind friend, he would push them. Like Taylor said that he was taking them to the Grand Canyon and then push them into a ditch. And then make them appreciate life a little bit more.
It's so great.
First joke I ever saw, I didn't know who he was until I saw him. I saw like a late night set of his, and he did this joke about how, sometimes like you go to like a candy machine or something, and they put your dollar in, they eat your dollar, and you're like, okay, whatever. But if I go to an iPod machine, I'm getting my fucking iPod.
I love that one. I think that one's on Crazy with the capital F. Or not capital F, but... Oh, yeah.
And
the only reason
with a capital F.
The only reason I specifically know that joke, the reason I looked it up, or looked him up in the first place, is because I had a vaguely similar joke, and a friend told me to look it up, and it was basically the same exact joke, so I had to drop it. This is before I even did comedy. I was just starting to write, and that was one of the bits, because I had been to the mall a million times, and of course you see those iPod machines, and it was just like, what if it eats your, I don't know, $100 or whatever? You're kind of screwed. So...
Yeah. I mean, that'd be rough.
Dan Cummins. How long have you been doing comedy?
About 3.5 years.
3.5 years. Where was the first place you got up?
I took a class at Ridley's, and then I hadn't done any comedy before that.
You're the last person I would expect to take the class at Mark Ridley's, to be honest with you. Who was teaching it at that time? Was it Bill or okay? What do you learn in a comedy class? Like, what are they actually teaching you that?
Because me and Brett both, we've talked about this before. We have like the same outlook on comedy classes. Like we're like, anything I feel like I'd learn there, I feel like I could read articles or like learn online or learn through books or something.
Or just learn through getting on stage as much as possible.
Exactly. Like,
we're not dismissing it if people want to take those classes. It's just one of those things. Just like, what do you actually like learn, or what did you learn?
I think it gave me the confidence to like go to an open mic and actually try it, and then he helped like provide direction as far as like where jokes could go or if jokes needed more brevity. I mean, like, granted, like, you could totally, I guess, learn that stuff, like, over time, but, like, it sped up the process so much. Like, it made something, like, I think probably, like, 6 or 7 months of experience, like, condensed into, like, 6 weeks.
Nice.
And just, like, basic things, too. Like, I didn't even know there was such a big scene in the metro area until I got there. Like, that Mark Ridley's was the only place I, like, knew did comedy.
It took me a long time to figure out where that, like, we actually had, like, somewhat of a scene. Because probably, like, the first 4 to 5 months that I was doing stand-up, I was just doing it, like, laugh tracks at Joey's. And that was it. And, like, I thought that's all that existed. And, like, because nobody told me about MCN or anything. And, like, I didn't know that was a real thing. Yeah. And then I think the first open mic I went to outside of laugh tracks or Joey's, I did Mark Ridley's like once, and then I think I'm banned from there. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty positive, like, because I haven't gotten like on the open mic since then.
I haven't gotten on it at all.
Well, I went and I got on it once, and I said the F word 16 times. Yeah.
I think it's worse that you actually memorized how many times you said
It's
it.
because there's video evidence of it, because my stepmom recorded it, because, like, my family came out, like, all my family, and I was, like, cussing my aunt out, because she was drunk and heckling me, and I was like, shut the fuck up, just, like, over and over again, like, it was really bad, and, I made my stepmom remove the video from YouTube. I was like, that can't be out there, like, it's not allowed to be out there. Yeah, but the first one I went to outside of those was New Way.
Oh,
but it was like I thought New Way. Okay, first time I went to New Way, there was only like I think like maybe 6 to 10 comics there that night, and so I thought that's just how it was all the time. I was like, oh, it's an empty open mic. And I went there like a couple weeks later. I was like, oh, it's not just an empty open mic. Everybody in Michigan shows up here, like.
Yeah, like I love that mic. It goes so late sometimes, and I'm like, oh, I have to work at 3 a.m. I don't know if I can.
I don't know how to describe New Way other than like when it's good, it's good. I don't know, because there's nights where it's terrible, but then there's nights where it's just like there's people there and they're into the show and they stick around. And it's first 3 times I did New Way, like I used to do Lynch's every Monday just because I was closer to Wes. I mean, like, where I used to live, like, St. Clair, that's, like, 15 minutes from my house. So I used to do that all the time, and then when I started going to New Way, and I was like, oh, shit, there's people here. And I started going there, and then like, after doing it, like, 6 or 7 times, it's like, oh, it's not always like this. Mm-hmm. So, let's stop talking about ourselves. Why are we more important? Let's talk about you. Let's talk about you. You just opened for Cameron Esposito.
Yes.
That's awesome. How did it?
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
She and Rhea Butcher are phenomenal.
Rhea Butcher, is that her girlfriend? Or...
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
And afterward, like a few weeks afterwards, Mr. Darnell Anderson told me that you had a way of contacting Cameron Esposito, because that Cameron Esposito gave you her number or her email or something, like her email. Yeah, and like Darnell told me about it. He's like, yeah, and Sam won't contact her for some reason. I'm like, what the fuck? And like, so that night I just like messaged Sam. I was like, what are you doing? Why are you not contacting like Cameron Esposito? I was like, she gave you her email. Contact her, and like I forced Sam to do it basically.
I felt so bad because I'm like, oh man, she probably has so many people like contacting her all the time.
how'd you get that gig? Like, who was the one who contacted you and was like, hey, do you want to open for Cameron?
Alex Price, like in part of like Let's Comedy.
Yeah, they seem to be doing a lot of cool stuff down in Indiana. I know they got Wyatt Cenac, or he's coming.
Wyatt Cenac is coming, and Darnell's going to be opening for him.
Darnell Anderson, very
yeah.
funny man.
They had Bobcat Goldthwait, Mike Czar open for him.
Another good Ohio comic.
They have
what's her name from SNL?
Satori.
Yeah. Do we have any idea who's opening?
Sashir Zameda.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Who did you say?
You said Satori?
Yeah, can we cut that part from the podcast?
It's Zatori Shashanga.
I was just hoping one of you would say a name that was hard to pronounce that I couldn't understand, so I just rolled with it.
I like how quickly and confidently Sam came in with that answer, too. She just... Who's that woman from SNL, Satori? That's who it is.
We have an amazing lady comic in our area named Satori Shakur.
It's Tupac's
granddaughter.
And now I'm gonna like make myself seem extremely racist.
For anybody who doesn't know, Sam Rager's a raging racist. So.
I'm going to play my quarter black card right here.
But they've got oh my god, Matt Bronger and Brad Wenzel is opening for him. I'm gonna be seeing Brad Wenzel tonight at Winches. That's fun. So.
A lot of good comics here in Michigan. Let's keep talking about the one that's our actual guest, though.
Yeah.
We keep getting caught up in our own like personal conversations of like, hey, our friend's opening for this guy, and our friend's opening for this guy. Our friends are doing cool stuff.
The funniest, but with like the Brad Wenzel thing, I love how humble he is. Like I talked to him about like, when I was talking to him about this festival he did down in Indiana. Like he got to open for like Doug Benson and like all these other like huge names. And I was like, dude, that's awesome. He's like, yeah, I'd highly recommend it. I was dying laughing. I was like, what? Yeah, it's pretty great.
He's so nice. And like,
Yeah.
Very, very humble, not braggadocious.
Braggadocious?
He's
Is
like
that a word?
Sam
Can we make that a
Rager.
word? I don't feel like he's done DCU many times.
He's done it. I think he's done it like 3 or 4 times, to be honest with you.
Oh.
Is this the podcast where we have a guest and then we talk about every other comic in the scene?
And then it gets really catty after a while.
Like it starts off like, it's so cool that all our friends are opening. Why aren't we opening for these people?
How did you get involved with DCU?
That's an interesting question.
I don't know how that ended up happening. Like, you're very involved with it because you're there, like, every week. I just don't know how you got involved with it.
Is that worth sharing?
Is it?
Or are you allowed to share that information?
Or like in November or December of last year, I was approached by Mike Stanley and Carl about like becoming part of this new room that would be opening. And
Carl was the one that was on the phone, for those of you who don't know. Go on.
And I was like, yeah, I would love to. Like, at least have something consistent to be a part of. And
Right on. Now, I don't know if we need really any explanation more than that, but you guys, it seems like it's become like in a very short time, maybe it's just because the people running it, but it just seems like it's already like, it's kind of got like, it's become a special room that people really want to be a part of. Like
Kyle Forsyth. He really wants to be a part of it.
Kyle,
I'm over here just getting boned, you guys.
Kyle, my lovely co-host, has yet to do Detroit Comedy Underground, while I, on the other hand, have had the privilege of getting to do it twice. And Kyle constantly reminds me how much he wants to do it. And his one claim to be like, hey, at least I got a weekend at Joey's Comedy Club and you didn't. And then today, I get a call that I got a weekend at Joey's Comedy Club.
Well, I've done Mark Ridley's and Ann Arbor Showcase 3 times. How many times have you done it? Blow me, Brett. No. But no, I mean, like, me and Brett have a friendly rivalry.
Yeah.
Like,
Even when I posted a phony status yesterday about opening, or yesterday or the day before about opening for Jim Gaffigan that way too many people thought was real. Like, the status said, like, I'm happy to announce that I'm opening for Jim Gaffigan until security kicks me out. At that point, I figured everybody got the joke. But then the next sentence was, the show is on Saturday and tickets are only for squares. Or the show starts when I get there and tickets are only for squares. I figured that sold it as it's a joke. And then I started getting texts from kids I went to high school with. Hey man, I'm glad you stuck with it. Knock 'em dead. Or like ex-girlfriends being like, wow, I didn't know this would happen. Great job, man. Like stuff like this is just like, this is my fucking life.
That is phenomenal.
It is phenomenal. Like when I did Crunchies in Lansing, it's like you've done Crunchies before. Mm-hmm. It's a fun room. It's like a college town like restaurant, but everybody seems to be into the show for the most part. And half the comics assumed were telling me congratulations, and then I was like, dude, it was a joke. And they were just like, oh, that's a great joke, and just proceeded back to just I don't know, me not accomplishing anything.
and then his thoughts went dry.
Not really went dry. It just went back to, oh, I'm once again a no-name Michigan comic like all of us are.
Oh man, that'd be a beautiful life if it all just worked out that way.
Yeah.
It's like I'm doing Meadowbrook Music Festival tomorrow. I don't know why that venue is called Meadowbrook Music Festival, as if it's just constantly a festival there.
Like it's fucking Woodstock.
It's like a smaller DTE Energy, or Pine Knob for old people. But, like, it's a smaller outdoor venue that's just an amphitheater. I don't know why it's called Festival. They named the venue Festival. It doesn't make sense.
It's very stupid. I don't get why they do that. This podcast should be called that podcast with Bret and Kyle, where Bret and Kyle complain and the guest is just there to make sure they don't beat each other up. Let's argue about stuff, and then the guest only talks ever so often.
No, I am horrible. I'm horrible at like podcasts because I love listening more than I'm just like, yeah.
Right. I feel that way too, but sometimes it's just like, I don't know. Like I feel like when I listen to most of the podcasts, I kind of dig when the guest is speaking 90% of the time. In this case, it's kind of like the opposite. It's like Kyle and I will argue about something, and then you'll like say like, "Hey guys, it gets better," and then it's just like, "Hey, no, we're not done here."
I don't know, when I start, like when I get into, like, the podcasting thing, or, like, when I listen to podcasts and stuff, I just want to immediately hear about, like, personal lives. That's all I want. It's like, I don't want to hear about the shit going on career-wise, then that's all I'm talking about right now. Like, I like personal stuff, and that's what I like.
Well, it is weird to just be like, "Hey, Sam, what do you think happens when we die?" Or like, "Hey, Sam,
Sam, what do you think happens when we die?"
I don't know. Like, I want to believe that there's, like, some sort of heaven. And I believe that, like, just to, like, I mean, that helped when my mom passed away, like, thinking that she went to a better place. But it's a very daunting thought, what happens after death. So that got really, I'm sorry, like, I got, like,
this is exactly how we wanted it to go. Like, I like Pete Holmes' sort of definition of, it's sort of like in the same vein of his definition of how he views religion. He's like, I'm not a religious person, but I feel like since I grew up on religion, there's still a little bit of that religion click-clacking around in my mind. Like, he's like, it's just still there. He's like, but I don't fully believe it. Like, and I sort of like go where he's at with it. It's like, I don't know that I believe that it's God up there. I believe there's some sort of higher power, and I just don't know what it is. I don't know.
I mean, it's like my whole thing is like I don't have too many fears. Like I do fear death, and it's only because I don't know what happens. Want to know why? Because I haven't died. So that's basically like, because I think it's just the fear of the unknown, because none of us really know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. I have the most irrational fear, like, but and I even tell everybody, I'm like, I don't really fear death. Like, I feel like it's gonna happen when it's gonna happen.
I don't feel like you're afraid of death. I feel like you're afraid of weird shit like dolphins or something.
You want to know what I'm?
What are you afraid of,
Just
Kyle?
about to get just as weird. That's why I said it's really weird. I'm not afraid of death, but I am terrified of snakes. Any type of snake, gardener snake, I don't care. People are like, "That's a harmless snake. It won't even bite you." I'm like, "Yes, it will. It has teeth. It can bite me." Like,
You're the Bam
I
Margera of
don't
comedians.
get that. I'm like, do not get that snake near me. Like, if I even see a snake like at the zoo, like I don't even want to go. But like when I go to the pet store, I purposely will take the long way around the pet store so I don't have to see snakes.
For real?
Really, I can't stand them.
Would you kill it? Would you kill a snake?
No, because I'd be too afraid. I'd be like, I'm gonna try and kill that snake, and it's gonna kill me. Like, it's what's gonna happen.
Too afraid to get rid of my fear.
Yeah.
Too afraid to get rid of your fear.
Exactly. Like,
Sam, what are you afraid of?
I hate heights.
Heights? That's mine. I have an irrational fear of heights. You love heights, Kyle?
I love heights.
I like how you had to do. Oh, I like heights. You did like the whisper, like, oh, I'm a big. I just love the whisper voice. It's fun. What is it about heights? Is it like, do you hate like roller coasters and stuff like that?
I hate, like, with roller coasters, I hate the heights combined with, like, the speed. I think maybe if it went, like, slower, I could deal with it better, but, like,
Right.
I can't, no, I cannot do roller coasters.
Roller coasters. I've ridden just about every ride at Cedar Point because I figured maybe if I got it all out of my system.
Badass.
Yeah, no, listen. I figured maybe if I got it all out of my system, maybe by then I would like overcome my fear of heights. No, didn't happen. Like I assumed like, hey, maybe the best way to get over it is to confront your fear. That didn't work. So
Have either of you guys ever been in one of like those like slingshot rides or whatever? It seems so fun. I want to try it. Like, do you know what I'm talking about though?
no.
Where you like sit in like you sit in there. It's basically like a 2 people seated thing, and it's just like a. It's got these huge, basically giant bungee cords. Like this machine just starts pulling you back, and then it lets you go, and it's like a giant slingshot, and you end up like.
I've been on a
swimming across
variation
and
of
just,
something like that. Where,
Yeah,
was
like-
it just at a fair you did this at, or is this like a Cedar
I've
Point
never
ride?
been on one. I'm saying
Oh.
I want to go on one. Like, I just see they have it at amusement or at like theme parks or amusement parks or whatever, like Cedar Point type places.
That sounds terrifying.
It sounds amazing.
But also, like, one of the most memorable suicide attempts. If you could rig it, like...
Sam's gonna go ride the slingshot and rig it. Is what she said.
Those kids
You
are
talk
good.
about public suicide. This is the way to do it. Sam. Like, you just unbuckle yourself midway through, and just boom, just go flying. Like, it's a human slingshot.
And those kids will never forget me. And
Imagine-
they'll never want to ride that ride again.
You are gonna ruin so many families' days. I mean, I guess that's the way to go out if you're gonna do it. Like,
I mean, fucking, I like going to like amusement parks and stuff like that, but I'd much rather, if it's like a place that also has a water park, I'd probably just go to the water park. Like, I could deal with water slides and like swimming and like like the what the fuck, like where you like try to like basically surf. I don't know what it's called. Like that. I'd much rather
it's
do.
the wave rider. Machine.
Yeah, the wave rider. I'd much rather do that.
I've talked to you about this
Yeah,
before.
it's fun.
I'm very good at those wave rider machines. You know the ones we're talking about.
I've never been to a water park.
What?
Have you seen what we're talking about before though?
I think
Like,
so.
you use like a boogie board and stuff, and like you can do tricks on 'em. I'm very, very exceptionally good at those. Like,
Ladies.
so when I
honest.
go to yeah, ladies. But like when I go to Kalahari with my family sometimes, like I haven't been there in a while, but it's weird because like I'm very good at it, and so people just see me on it and remember me. So I'll be walking through the hotel like the whole weekend, and people will be like, "Hey, you're really good at the wave rider. High five!" Like I have like 8 or 10-year-old kids coming up to me high-fiving me because I'm good at riding a wave riding machine.
Oh my god. So next time you go and you do the wave rider machine, can you do your stand-up set while you're doing it?
Just, I'll be standing at the porch. You guys, I'm not a fan of sand.
I feel like Kyle would be like the same guy like who would go to the arcade later that night and some same kid would recognize him. It's like, is that the guy who rode the wave rider? And then he comes up, and then this little kid like puts 50 cents into like the skee ball machine. He's like, "Hey man, I got this. You just keep doing you."
Yeah, I just have children who are fans of me pay for all my arcades while I'm at the hotel. That's how I do it.
And just concerned parents are like, what is this 21-year-old bearded man playing skee ball at fucking...
With my child.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. They're lots of fun though. I mean, I'm just that slingshot suicide is just brutal. I'm just imagining the splatter on this, right? Like that's all I see in my head right now.
I used to imagine doing it with like the swings at fairs and amusement parks.
Oh, yeah.
Like going in at night and then like unscrewing one, remembering what swing that is, and then getting on first thing the next day. But I did not even think that the slingshot was an option, and now I know that that's an option now. I feel like I could get much better momentum with that.
You talk about suicide. Most people who know you know that you've attempted suicide in the past, correct?
Yes.
Are we okay to talk about this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh fuck!
Curveball. Curveball.
Hey, looks like Bret didn't know.
Yeah. Guys, slingshots. We're afraid of heights. Hey kid, I got this next one for skee ball. Hey guys, have you ever killed yourself?
I could only be so lucky, Bret.
Oh my god. In all honesty, have you thought about it? I assume you've thought about it at some point. Your ideal way to do it. Do you know what it would be?
Ideally,
I've thought about this too. Go ahead.
it would be like pain-free. Like the easiest way right now that I can think of. I think about it a lot. I would probably get like super intoxicated and then a bunch of sleeping pills. So like, it would just like I wouldn't be able to like wake up, and then I wouldn't be able to feel it, and I could just like it would be like I'm dreaming, and then all of a sudden, who knows? We just talked about this. We don't know what's gonna happen in our afterlife. Like, the dream will ease into that.
Bret?
Actually, what I would probably do is jump off a cliff. I'd probably because it's like I fear death and I'm afraid of heights. So there you go. I'm confronting both of them at the same time, and that's how I'd go out. I don't know what I'd jump into. I don't know if that means jump off the Grand Canyon or jump off a cliff into the ocean, but...
Guys, I've thought about slingshot. Could you imagine how great that would be, though? Yeah! It's you're going out so happy, and then you're just, God, it's done instantly. You're not going to suffer with that thing. That launches you a far ways. So you get a good 5 to 10 seconds of hang time in the air, and then it's just done.
What, to process that you're going to die?
No, you're so excited in the process. You're like, this is the peak of everything. It will never be better.
I want to die happy though, so maybe I would get drunk, take a bunch of sleeping pills, and then go see one of those family Saturday movies like Kung Fu Panda or something. And just sit in the back and then
just nod off.
I just like the visual of somebody killing themselves inside a theater dirt while a bunch of kids are watching fucking Kung Fu Panda. You just see this doped out brunette in the back who's just fucking hate my life.
Just nodding off the whole time.
I just love the idea of Jack Black hearing about this is God, one of my movies made someone kill themselves.
You know what? Go see an Adam Sandler movie. It makes more sense.
Because that's what somebody
Hotel
would think.
Transylvania comes out in September.
You know what the joke would be? If you killed yourself in the theater while Kung Fu Panda was playing, the joke would be the next day. It's see, Jack Black is so shitty. It made people fucking kill themselves in the theater.
How dare you? Jack Black is an American gem. You should never say such bad things. Adam Sandler, however, say whatever you will. But Jack Black, he is the gem of a human being. I mean, you can see. I feel like if you just look at me or even hear how I sound, you can tell that I'm slightly inspired by Jack Black. in some way.
So you're slightly inspired by the guy who's eventually going to make Sam Rager kill himself.
I mean, I'm not saying no.
If I could be like half as successful as either of them, but who knows if that will happen.
I thought you were about to say either of us. I was going to say you got some low standards there.
Either of you as well.
God, nothing makes me happier than the idea of Sam Rager wanting to kill herself during Kung Fu Panda. Oh my god, that's funny.
Now whenever I see Sam, I'm just going to ask her if she wants to watch Kung Fu Panda with me. Like,
well, at least we know...
It's going to be a horrible, dark inside joke.
Well, no, it's going to just be like, whenever it's just like, hey, Sam, what are you doing? And if she mentions anything about Kung Fu Panda, it's like, guys, we got to get over there right away.
Oh my god.
But at what point would you actually like kill it? Like, would you do it like as the during the trailers, like when the movie's starting, or would you wait till afterwards when the theater's like clearing out?
Oh, I would pregame with the alcohol before I went to the theater, and then I would
pregame it before suicide.
Would you put the sleeping pills inside of like a Sour Patch Kids box?
Oh yeah, I just like wow, those
Pass
Sour Patch Kids are crunchy.
These are stale.
How do these Sour Patch Kids get so stale?
And then I would, so I would take everything before the movie started, and then when like the kids were walking, they would all walk by my corpse and not like realize it.
You're like, what row would you sit in?
I would sit in the furthest back row, so everyone would have to walk by me. And it would almost be like a funeral. I feel like it was strangers that they didn't.
Well, it depends on what kind of theater you're at, because I've been to theaters where like the very back row is up top, like you have to go upstairs, so you'd have to go downstairs if you wanted. But then there's like local theaters where like they have like 3 individual chairs in the back, like one in the dead center and one on each corner, and then they could just walk by you there. So
those sound like fancy theaters, and if I'm killing myself, I'm still poor.
No, these are not. I go to AMC and Imagine just like every other.
Not every other person goes to Imagine.
If that's all that's around, that's what I'll go to. If there's a movie I want to see, I will go to whatever theater is closest to see it.
There's a Sweet Dollar Theater on DeQuinder.
Ooh, what kind of movies do they play? Is it a lot of like...
All the ones that have been out for like 6 months plus already.
I assume.
Shows.
So I was contemplating taking my life a couple months ago, and again,
what?
And like I was like just like having like such a bad day, and then I was like, you know what, it's one of those things, and I know they joke about it in like Kimmy Schmidt, like if you can make it through the next hour, then you can make it through the hour after that. And I'm like, okay, I just need to go. I'll just go watch a movie, and if I can make it through this movie, then I can. And like the only movie was like that one Unbreakable movie with like the Olympic person. And they got this huge show of popcorn. I'm like, okay, this is like my suicide movie. And then like there's this couple behind me, like just talking. So the first half of it, I want to be like, shut up! I am trying to want to live right now, and you're ruining it for me.
That's the Angelina Jolie directed flick, correct?
I'm not sure.
It's about the Olympics.
She was trying to kill herself. She wasn't just... I don't think she IMDb's who's in the movie she's about to kill herself
Angelina Jolie isn't in it. She just directed it.
I know, but I'm saying... She's not looking... Oh, who was in charge of costume design?
That's what I'd do.
Right now...
Do you remember what happened that day? Like, what was just shitty day at work, or just woke up in a bad mood, or like, what was...
It was just like a mix of like so much. Like I recently become like homeless again. I like had gotten like a flat tire, which normally would not have been that bad, but with like all my belongings are like in my car, and the tow truck driver was like, your spare tire, I need to get it from your trunk. I'm like, I don't think I have one of those, because I knew that I would have to unload all of my belongings on the side of 94 in the middle of rush hour. And so it was like the parade of home, as like all these cars had to drive slowly by like all my belongings like on the side of the highway, and just like things with my family, which is horrible. And then like me feeling like I wasn't doing going anywhere with my job, and then me thinking I wasn't going anywhere with comedy, and just like feeling so alone. and not wanting to like bother anybody with like my problems and not really know how to deal with it.
And that was, and then you got through the movie and you were like, I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Angelina Jolie knows how to direct an inspiring flick, you guys. You take anything from this story.
Absolutely. What's the name of this movie?
Unbreakable.
All right, we're going to play a game right now, you guys. It's called Unbreakable. Is that what we said?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go on Rotten Tomatoes right now, and I want you guys to guess the percentage, the score out of 100% that you think it has on Rotten Tomato with
63.
critics. Did you just look it up?
No.
Okay. You were just way too confident.
I've just got, I'm estimating it's probably in the 60s, so I guess low 60s.
How recent ago did this movie come out?
This past year or
It's like 2014 or 2015.
Is it Unbreakable, a story of Haiti?
Yeah, I think.
Is that what it is, though? A story of hope and healing in Haiti? Is that what we're talking about?
Maybe it's Unbroken.
Unbroken, yeah. Unbreakable is an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
You would know that.
I would, because I do. He's got a new movie coming out called The Visit, where these kids like visit their grandparents, and it looks pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I saw like every time because I sometimes listen to YouTube like music at work.
Yeah.
And like the ads come up, I'm like, yes, I want to see that.
I want to see that, and then it's coming out it's actually coming out tomorrow. I might go see it after. I have to do that New Way contest. I might go see The Gift with Jason Bateman.
Oh, yeah.
Him and Rebecca Hall. It's about a couple. I would pull up the trailer, but I don't know.
It's got like some weird dude who he used to go to high school with.
And then it's basically trying to figure out like what Jason Bateman did to this kid in high school that's making him like just mess with him and his wife. But it's got great like reviews. They're saying it's a great thriller. It's a great throwback. One critic called it the best like director like debut since like Gone Baby Gone, and that's a great movie. Ben Affleck's first directed movie. So I'm kind of sold. I kind of want to see that. Okay, Unbroken. I have the score. Out of 100%, you said?
63.
Sam?
74.
51.
That shows like...
Jeopardy rules we both lost.
Yep.
So...
Figured we need a nice little balance of like serious talk and also silly. So... And I want it to be as spontaneous as possible, so. But,
You guys want to do our sponsors now, maybe?
I think we could do our sponsors, and I think we got some decent ground covered. Let's get a word from our sponsors.
All right, we'll be right back with our sponsors. All right, you guys. We got a few sponsors this week. Our first sponsor. Let me see what it says here. First sponsor is going to be Snickerdoodles. They're not a Snicker, and it's not a doodle. All right. Our next sponsor.
Our next sponsor is Caskets. Lie here and listen.
And our last sponsor, we are brought to you by Zach Burkar and Brandon Bonebreak. Our sponsors are better. Thanks, guys. Hey, we are back, everybody. I'm Brett.
And I'm Kyle.
And
we already know that.
Yeah, we do. Sam Rager left to go see Kung Fu Panda, so but it's okay. We have a suitable replacement.
At least we think it's a suitable replacement. We haven't even really met her yet.
Yeah, it was a recommendation by Sam Rager herself. Everybody, please welcome
Cheryl Jones.
Cheryl Jones, everybody. Cheryl Jones. Cheryl, welcome.
It's so awesome to be here. So this is my first foray into entertainment.
That's awesome. We're so glad that this could be your first foray into entertainment. So you've never been in entertainment before?
Not at all.
All right, well, Cheryl, we don't know much about you except for your name at this point. Where are you from exactly?
I'm originally from Toledo, but I am up here to go take some classes at OCC.
Really?
I went there for a short period of time, and then I dropped out.
Why would you do that?
Because I realized getting a film degree at a community college wasn't going to take me anywhere.
It's not just any college, okay? It's the prestigious OCC.
I mean, I don't think it's that prestigious. I'm going to be honest with you.
Or
I
that
don't mean
funny.
I don't mean to shit on your dreams, but
I'm not. No, school's not funny. I don't know. School's no joke. School's not a joke, Kyle.
I take it as
Whoa.
a giant joke.
Excuse me? I am shelling out 20,000 a semester.
Wow.
That's way more than I paid. You are getting ripped off, Cheryl.
I don't think you're going to the community. I think you're going to straight up just Oakland University. That's a lot of money.
No, I registered with this guy standing outside of OCC.
You just gave him $20,000?
Like cash?
He was a very cash guidance counselor.
Where did you get $20,000, Cheryl?
We all have our means of income. Maybe legality may come into question with this. That I might not feel comfortable saying on camera.
Cheryl, it's okay.
Tell me, where'd you get the money from? Just off the microphone. They can't hear us right now. They can't. Tell me where you got it from.
Have you heard of the underground hamster market?
The underground hamster market. I haven't. What's it? Is it lucrative?
There is lots of there's lots of money to be made in hamster breeding.
That sounds like a weird profession, but I mean, hey, to each their own. Is that your only profession?
What profession are you talking about? Selling jamberry nails? Yeah, that's a totally legal means of making money. Not hamster breeding.
Not hamster breeding. All right, so selling. So what do you do for a living then?
I sell jamberry nail decals.
Jamberry nails?
Yes. They're like,
What is
instead of
that?
having to paint your nails, they're like stickers that you put.
You put stickers on your nails and you sell those?
Yes, they go for about $29 per hand.
That sounds like a ripoff.
It is.
That's definitely a ripoff.
Technically, you have to rip the decals off before you put them on your fingers. So, yes, good sure, technically rip off.
Cheryl, what are you going to OCC for? What are you going to school for?
I'm going to school for acting.
Acting?
Yes.
What's your favorite movie, Cheryl?
I really enjoy The Mummy with Brendan Fraser.
The Mummy.
Love
I'm not.
that movie. Good
I'm
movie.
not a
Great
fan.
movie.
I'm not a
Oh, Brenny Frasier? You don't like Brenny
fan.
Frasier?
Not a big Brenny Frasier fan.
He's not a fan of the movie when he's like, that's
No,
cinematic.
Solid performance. Did not like the movie.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. My favorite movie is Kung Fu Panda.
Well, I
Very
hear
well,
Sam
now
talk
we're
about that
talking, now we're
movie
talking, yeah.
all
Kung
the
Fu
time.
Panda.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. Our last guest, Sam Rager, really loves Kung Fu Panda.
I hear she speaks highly of it.
You know each other, indeed. I mean, she recommended you to us. I assume you know each other, right?
I met her at OCC.
You did. What was she going for acting too, or something else?
No, she was on the sidewalk outside.
Is that who took your money?
Oh.
Is that the one who? Is that she the guidance counselor you gave the money to?
No, she recommended the guidance counselor. She said he could make me famous. He teaches the acting classes as well. He has a tripod set up just like that one in his basement.
I don't think that's an OCC course.
No.
What kind of acting did he have you do?
There were lots of people. I think it's minimalist acting because very few people had clothes on.
That's not called minimalist. That's called porn. That's called porn.
Huh.
I think
Let's
you got
not
involved in an
talk-
underground porn ring. Is what happened here.
Let's
and
not
you paid
talk
him
that
20.
name.
You paid this guy $20,000 to be in his snuff film. Is what it sounds like to me.
I paid this guy $20,000 to teach me acting, and if I have to straight act, I will straight act, and if I have to lesbian act, I will lesbian act.
I didn't. Brett, have you heard of lesbian act or straight act? I've never heard of
That's
that.
just porn. That's straight up just porn.
Are you crying?
No, I'm not crying. It's just,
We're recording!
Who is that?
That's the pizza guy.
Pizza
Don't worry
guy.
about him.
Don't worry about the pizza guy.
Okay. I was not crying. I was acting. That's how good he is.
Was that straight acting or lesbian acting?
That was good acting.
So there's a third type of acting now? There's lesbian acting, straight acting, and good acting?
Yes, but good acting can also...
How many types of acting exactly is there?
There are 18 types of acting, according to my sweet teacher / guidance.
Can you name them all? Okay, we've got straight acting, lesbian acting, good acting.
Mediocre acting.
That's 4.
MILF acting.
MILF acting, that's 5.
There are bi-curious acting. There's young, old acting, which is very similar to MILF acting, but should not be confused.
Noted.
Okay. I mean, so that's number 7.
There's webcam acting.
Sam Rager was involved in that at one point, from my understanding. I'm not positive on that.
Sam will
But,
go through some very dark times.
Alright, so we got 8 right now.
There's cartoon acting.
That's 9.
There's friends acting. There's bad acting. There's mediocre acting.
You already said mediocre. So we're at 11.
There's bearded acting. I think you'd be very good at that one.
I assume so.
Brett, you could be too.
Bearded acting.
I'm not going to.
He's not. Trust me. I've seen his beard. It's pitiful.
Well,
This is like 3 years of work. This.
Well, keepers. Maybe you would be good at good acting.
Good acting? Good at good acting?
Yes, good at good acting.
All right.
Is that number 13? Good at good acting?
Yes, it is.
It's
Thank
number
you.
13.
What do we need? 5 more?
Yeah. 5.
We got a schedule to keep here. Come on,
Oh,
Cheryl. We need to get these 5 done. Come on. Bring it
Well,
up, bring it up, bring it up.
there's also soda acting.
Soda acting.
Soda acting.
Haven't heard of that.
Soda or sorta?
Soda.
Is there
Soda?
sorta acting too?
Yes,
That's number 15. That's crazy.
There's only 3 more. There's child acting,
Child
but I
acting.
don't see that one done very often.
No. That's pretty
Not right, at
non-existent.
least. Not since Macaulay Culkin.
There's
That we can agree on.
there's sibling acting, and there's clown acting.
Oh!
18. Oh,
Guys.
you are a professional. You really are.
Guys.
I thought you were messing with us for a while there when you said MILF acting. I thought that was fake, but
No, OCC.
I thought it was too.
I realized you were legit.
OCC.
OCC. That's crazy.
I need $20,000 a semester.
Well,
I mean-
wow.
So, I mean, did you grow up in Toledo or?
No, I'm originally before Toledo. I spent most of my life in Charleston, West Virginia.
How was that?
Very dark and gloomy. It's near coal mining towns, and some of those miners spent a lot of time in caves. Too much time in caves. And they lost a lot of canaries.
That's a weird thing to lose in caves, but you know what, Cheryl? You've been a great guest. We appreciate you being on here. You're a little strange, I'm going to be honest with you. I think you got ripped off for this whole college thing. I don't think you're actually in college.
I think I'm going to school. I think I'm going to school.
You're going to
Kyle
something,
Host.
and I'm not sure it's
I-
college. I'm not fully sure on that. But, I mean, we appreciate you being here nonetheless.
We do.
It's been great having you. You've been a nice guest. It was great to meet you. Thank you. Thank you for
Very
your
nice to
time.
meet you,
We
Cheryl.
appreciate you.
Nice to meet you. I'm Brett.
And I'm Kyle.
And that was Cheryl.